everybody and welcome to the build-up show. It is countdown to kick-off in the FA Cup, Friday night game. Leicester are back at Old Trafford for the third time in 100 days. Manchester United play Leicester City again. Rude's return back to Old Trafford. There's rumours that Dorgu starts. There's rumours. Can't get my words out. I'm too excited. There's rumours that Aidan Heaven starts as well, which is bold. All rumours right now, but we're here to discuss it. We've got some guests. We've got the fabulous Mods.
Wow, they didn't even see the Insta story.
Yeah, we've not even seen the Insta story, but the fabulous Mods.
Thank you.
We've got a Leicester City fan phoning in as well. We might have another special guest, so stay tuned.
Yep.
But Mods, you know, the Premier League, which, let's just put
Push
that to the side.
Yep.
I'm not enjoying that at the moment, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
That's gone. The last time I think I felt real enjoyment with Manchester United was actually that Arsenal FA Cup win.
That was a while ago as well.
It was a while ago.
About 8 games ago.
The FA Cup's been treating us quite well.
Yeah.
Do you think it's going to be the same again tonight?
Ooh, yeah, yes. I'm not even going to try and bring any kind of doubt to this game. No, 100%. I feel like we should be able to get a great, confident victory today. I mean, like you said, the league's not been really in our favour this season, but I feel like in these cup competitions we've managed to come away with some big wins and some important wins. So yeah, definitely, I feel like today, or tonight anyway, we can get a confident win. That's what I want, a confident win. Not a shaky win, not like we have to come back from 1 goal down at half time. No, a confident win today against Leicester.
Well, Leicester are an interesting team because obviously, Ruud van Nistelrooy has gone there as manager.
Yeah.
Not had the greatest of successes there so far, but he does know this Manchester United side inside and out. Do you think that's a big advantage for a manager?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. In terms of knowing our strengths and our weaknesses, I mean, he's going to know pretty much. I'm trying to think which players. Pretty much every single player he's worked with, and considering that he was a striker when he was obviously playing, so I'm sure in terms of like in training he was more working with the strikers or the offensive players, trying to improve their game. You know, players like Højlund, probably players like Ahmad and Xerxes, those kind of players. He was probably working very closely, so we would know exactly.
Didn't do a good job, clearly.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, they were probably better back then than they were now, so they probably just forgot everything you told them. But yeah, he would definitely know what to look out for. But I'll be honest, the way we're playing, all the strengths that we had back then, I don't think he's not really going to be paying too much attention. He's probably thinking, you know what, if they play to their strengths and they try to get at us, they could probably flip this game on its head. The same way how other teams like Southampton and SB and all these other teams have managed to kind of have a bit of momentum in these games, especially at Old Trafford. So he's probably going to come to this game thinking, I'm going to bring this to United, instead of thinking, let me just hold off and see what United can do. Exactly.
I mean, there is news in, and Patrick Dorgu and Aidan Heaven have arrived at Old Trafford. They are in the squad. We do know that. Whether they start or not is a different story. I mean, let's just get a poll up and running straight away. Should Aidan Heaven and Patrick Dorgu start for Manchester United tonight? The two new signings, both young.
But I feel. Go on. My thing is that it's a different conversation for both of them.
Okay.
So I feel like I would say if Dorgu starts, I'm not too bothered. I wouldn't even. If he starts or if he doesn't start, I want him to play regardless with Dorgu. Aidan Heaven, I'm not too sure about, because I've not seen 1 minute or one highlight, one clip, one tackle, one insight. I've not seen anything, so I'm not 100% like sure as to like how good of a player he is, like completely. Whereas Dorgu, I'm a bit more confident in Dorgu just because he's played a lot. You know, we've seen, whether it's clips or whether you watch him play 90 minutes, we've all seen a little bit more of Dorgu, and his position is a lot more needed in this team. So at that left wing back position, we know how desperate we are for a more specialist player in that position, whereas centre-back, even though Martinez is injured, I still feel like we have 3 comfortable centre-backs that can play that position.
I think you're absolutely right. I said on my road trip video, hopefully you've all watched that. Yeah. My road trip video, I said I would start Dorgu tonight. I don't see a reason why we shouldn't. You know, okay, yeah, you know, he's just come through the door, but he's been playing regular football for Lecce. He's played multiple positions. He knows how it works. He's fit enough, 100%, to come in. And like you said, our left wing back area is such a problem area, and it needs addressing. Why have we bought him if he's not ready?
Yeah.
So I think he'll come in. 20 years old. I mean, to be honest, when you've got the experience, if you're good enough, you're old enough to, you know, you can't just not play someone. Oh, you're 19, so I'm not playing you. You're 20, so I am playing you. So, but just all together, like what he's got right now, Patrick Dorgu, and why we've brought him in, I don't see why he wouldn't start, so I'd start him. Heaven, like you said, you've got cover, you've got Mazraoui, you've got Maguire, Lindelof even, who has got experience, even though, you know, I don't think he's barely seen a minute under Ruben Amorim. I know he's had injury problems. And then you've got even Lenny Yoro as well, so there is players there that you can play. So Delete. So I get where you're coming from that point of view, and it might be different conversations for both of them, but they are the rumours coming out of Manchester United right now.
But one thing I would say is, in terms of Aid in Heaven, if United are in a comfortable position, hopefully United, please, come on boys, like, let's get this game over and done with early enough, so that maybe we can at least see a little 10 minutes here or 5-10 minutes, just so that a little glimpse, because reality is the games are only going to get harder from this point. We're not going to get easier games after this. Even in the cups, it's going to be difficult games. The Europa League, we're going into the next round now, so everything's going to be even more difficult there. We're already out the Carabao Cup, but even in the league, I mean, every game's hard anyway in the league. So I feel like the games are only going to get more and more harder. So if we can get a comfortable point at this in this game, like 70-80 minutes, where we have the 2-3 goals up.
Do you think United are capable of that?
Listen, I'm trying to be optimistic. I'm trying to be like.
We've had a comfortable position in a game for I can't even remember last time.
Not in 2025 anyway. I don't think so.
This season, have we? Can anyone remember a point in a game where we've had a comfortable moment?
Yeah, no, you might be right. To be fair.
Genuinely,
you might be right.
Like, even when we beat Southampton 3-1, Ahmad scored a hat trick in like 12 minutes.
Surely there's been a game where we've just been like 2-0 up the whole game or something.
But even 2-0, it's the most dangerous scoreline in
2-0's
football.
not
We've
that
got to be at least 3, I think, to start.
Have we never been 3-0 up in a game?
More
Rude was like 3-0 up at one point when he was managing us.
Leicester.
That's what I mean.
We played Leicester. It was 5-2. Wow. Rude.
Wow. But it does sound, now that I think about it, it does kind of sound a bit like it's not going to happen. But
Everton, people saying Everton.
Oh yeah, we won 4-0 that game.
We beat them 4-0. It was mad though, because the performance wasn't 4-0 worthy, but I suppose that is a comfortable win.
I'm pretty sure we beat like, was it earlier on, was it Southampton or someone 3-0? We beat someone 3-0.
Yeah, it was Southampton, but it was away, and it was the scoreline didn't say
it didn't affect the game, did it? Yeah, I remember that game as well.
Yeah.
But I mean, look, I just want to be able to see something of Aid in Heaven now, rather than having to wait till later on in the season where things are more difficult, and it's like, do you really want to put him in when it's a more difficult game? But yeah, like you said, the chance of that happening doesn't really seem likely.
Well, he did play in pre-season for Arsenal against Rasmus Højlund, and Rasmus Højlund did do him over a little bit. And someone in the chat said, El Magico said, if Rasmus Højlund bullied him, then he really must be rubbish, because he's not been bullying many people. But that was in pre-season, it's different, and there's obviously a reason why Manchester United have gone for Aid in Heaven, and his development path at Manchester United could be really exciting. And you know, all I know from Arsenal fans, because like I said, I've not watched him play football, is he's very good on the ball, and that's what Lisandro Martinez is. So I assume he's been brought in to be his sort of understudy.
Do you feel like he could be the long-term replacement?
Not seen him, so I don't know. I hope so.
But do you feel like that's a reason why he's come in, to be like a long-term, like you are going to come into the team, not now, maybe not next year, but in maybe like 3-4 years' time when you're a lot more developed, your position hopefully should be as a starting centre-back for United.
I think that's the plan, especially because of Lisandro Martinez's injury concerns. He's not been very lucky at Manchester United in terms of injuries, and he has had some long periods out. And I think they're probably covering that. And instead of going out there, I mean, I know we bidded for Branthwaite in the summer and spending like a lot of money on a player who, when Lisandro Martinez is fit, it's like, who starts? You have Aid in Heaven at 18, learning from him and being that understudy, and then being ready to step in if Lisandro Martinez isn't available. The only thing you'd say with that is I think it's come very soon. I don't think, I mean, obviously nobody expected Lisandro to be out for such a long period so quickly after signing Aid in Heaven. So it's like straight away the spotlight's on him when it really shouldn't be. But like you said, we have got other cover. You have got Yoro there, who is further on in his development. You've got Mazraoui, who we know can cover both sides. Maguire's played there for England before, so there isn't a rush to get him in. But there's definitely, he's moved up in the pecking order, and there's already spotlight on him. And I just hope we don't put too much pressure on a player that realistically has got a first team squad number and has been brought into the first team, is seen as a first teamer, but isn't really seen as a starter yet.
Yeah, 100%. And my only thing as well is, I know we shouldn't be expecting injuries, and Martinez was kind of a bit of a shock, but Euro is a player that could end up getting injured at some point. We've seen it already. He's not exactly had a clean slate at his young age, so all it takes now is one little knock to a player, and all of a sudden, Aiden Heaven's going to have to come in at one point. He's going to have to. Whether it's Maguire, De Ligt, Mazraoui or Euro, if one of them takes a knock, Aiden Heaven is literally the next player to come into the starting team. He has to be.
There's also people talking about the chart. Godwill Kokonke, left-footed centre-back, 16, that has been in Ruben Amorim's squad a few times this season as well.
No, he's been there for a minute now.
Yeah, he's been in and around it. So, you might even see him get the nod before Aiden Heaven does. He knows him. Yeah,
true. Oh, yeah, true. Imagine if our starting centre-backs in the next 5 years was just Euro, Aiden and Kokonke.
Wow.
They're all decent ages, 16, 18 and 19, something like that. So...
The only thing you'd say there is the scouts have done an unreal job. They've smashed it. They've smashed it out the park there. I mean, you look at Leicester's form. The last game was against Everton, who have had that new manager bounce with David Moyes, and they got beat 4-0. Yeah. But then before that, they beat Spurs 2-1.
Spurs are terrible, though.
Spurs are poor, and they're suffering massively with injury issues. But we should be beating Leicester. They are relegation fodder, and I mean, just kind of if you look at some of Leicester's stats.
Did they beat Chelsea?
And you can compare it to Manchester United. I've not played Chelsea in the last 5 games.
Who did Leicester beat? They beat someone. I can't wait. Carry on.
You go and have a look at that. But I was just looking at, let me get it up. Where is it?
I'm thinking of Ipswich. My bad.
I've lost it. Okay, here we go. So, Leicester have lost 8 of their last 12 games under Rude, conceded 28 goals and have failed to keep a single clean sheet. Now, for Manchester United that can't score goals for love of money, you've got a team there that haven't kept a clean sheet in 12 games. Surely United get a goal tonight at Old Trafford, surely.
You're doing the jinxing today. I'm not trying to jinx it, but no, you are right though. This should be one of the teams that, I mean, if you just look at the facts, the stats, the odds, they're in our favour to score today at Old Trafford, if that means anything anymore. But come on, under the lights, like I said before, we do play a bit better in the cups than we do in the league. So maybe that's something that might play on the minds. We should be getting a goal today, at least one. And the fact that we're even thinking about if we're going to get a goal against Leicester in the cup is embarrassing, I'll be honest. We shouldn't even be thinking that.
But that's where we're at, though. That's where we're at, yeah.
To get a goal would be impressive. And I couldn't even tell you where that goal's going to come from. I couldn't tell you whether it's going to be a striker, one of our 10s, one of our defenders, our wing backs. It could come from anywhere, but just getting a goal today would be a level up from what we've been playing in the past, from how we've been playing in the past.
Yes, and where that goal comes from is the big question. The question on everyone's lips, Mods, is obviously will Dorgu start? But another one is, imagine if we had Dorgu and Ahmad at wing-backs. You've finally got wing-backs in place that are looking more like what Amorim aims to do and what suits his system and gives us a better chance of scoring goals. Yeah,
I mean, we've seen it time and time again this season when we've had 2 good wing-backs. And even if it is Dalot, or even if it has been Mazraoui, when they've had good games, the team just plays better in general. It's not magic, it's not a coincidence. It's just a fact that the wing-backs are just very, very important. We know now how important they are. So yeah, you're absolutely right. Today, playing with 2 players who, I mean, I'm not going to say Ahmad is naturally a wing-back because he's not. He's more of an attacking player anyway. But we've seen him be very comfortable in that position and put in great performances. Dorgu is more of a wing-back than he is anything else right now. So, yeah, I think those 2 playing there, the fact that they are both offensive-minded players, and we are going to be on the front foot for most of the game. We're not going to be defending for most of the game, hopefully anyway, but we are going to be on the front foot for most of the game. I think that just adds a lot more to the attack. And yeah, look, it all comes back to if we can't score today with these 2, if they are the 2 wing-backs, if we can't score today with those 2 playing there, we have a huge problem.
I think it gives us a much bigger opportunity, especially when you're at Old Trafford. And there's been a lot of talk within the Manchester United fan base recently, and we know how unreal the away support is. Yeah. Like, best in the country, and it deserves so much more than what it gets. Yeah. And, our away form hasn't been too shabby, to be fair. We've been picking up some good results away from home. Our home form has been seriously poor.
It's terrible.
And Old Trafford is just not a happy hunting ground for Manchester United right now. And I would never, ever, ever blame the fans, ever. It's an absolute hardship to go and watch that team at this moment in time, and the fans pay their money. They can be however they want to be. Honestly, they turn up and watch that, and the ticket prices being £66 is incredible to go and watch that. Like honestly, they should be paying us to turn up. But what the conversation has been is that sometimes the atmosphere is quite tense at Old Trafford and the crowd are a bit touchy. And I would say, yeah, they probably are. I go every time that there's a home game on because they're used to seeing garbage and it gets the backup because they pay and they make their way and they travel every game to watch the same thing over and over again. And nobody blames Amorim, by the way. Amorim's got the whole stadium. The only songs you hear now are Amorim songs.
Yeah.
People are sick of the players not being good enough and not doing the right things. And that is where you're in a home game today. You're against Leicester. I know it's a cup game. I know you don't want to concede early doors. And you've got to take every single team seriously. And Leicester genuinely have a very good chance of rocking up to Old Trafford and knocking us out the cup. That's the position we're in right now.
Yeah.
Multiple teams have come here and got good results and played good football that you wouldn't expect on a regular basis to be doing that at Old Trafford, but that has become the norm. But going out there and being able to dominate and push forward with two wing-backs that are actually going to get forward and have that attacking threat with Dorgu and Ahmad, I think it's a necessity, to be honest. When you play Mazraoui and Dalot there, it's like playing a back five at Old Trafford. You've not got enough attacking threat. It's boring to watch, and we end up losing anyway. So you might as well go out there and try.
You're going to score regardless. It's not like our defence is stronger. But look, on that point you made about Old Trafford, honestly, the last game, the Crystal Palace game, that I said it on the forum, that was the worst atmosphere I've seen at any stadium. I'm talking about forget stadium, my Sunday League team's got better atmosphere and we don't even have fans. It was so quiet and there was no energy at all. The fact the Crystal Palace fans made up 90% of the noise in the whole stadium, and that's when I realised, no, this is bad. This is embarrassing. This is horrible. I felt embarrassed being a United fan. I was still right next to the Crystal Palace fans as well, and I was thinking, this is embarrassing. And whenever we go out and do little interviews with fans outside the stadium and stuff like that, and we speak to people, and we'll see someone who says, yeah, I've come all this way from India, or I've come all this way from Singapore, or I came all this way from, I don't know, Kenya or somewhere far, and I just think, I feel so bad that they're coming all this way and having to watch that. If I came all that way, spent thousands of pounds of my money, forget the £66, they're spending ticket prices and plane prices and all this train prices to come and watch that team play, and just the lack of, let me not say the lack of effort, but just the lack of quality on the pitch. I'll be honest, it's hard to see, and it's hard to fathom that we've got to this point that we genuinely it makes me not even want to go to games anymore. How poor the team is playing. So, look, hopefully today they can actually just switch it on and at least show a bit more appreciation to the fans that people are coming out of the way to pay the money and come and watch them play. Show something that can get us on our feet. Show something that's going to get the crowd cheering for them and chanting the name. Give us something to actually want to watch. Because so far, not even so far this season, but for a while anyway, we haven't had anything to kind of cheer on.
Yeah, and do you think it kind of shows, maybe we've not got players that are mentally strong enough if they can't perform in front of an Old Trafford crowd with that pressure on them? Because it's moment in time, I'm not going to lie, one bad touch or one bad pass, you are getting a groan and a moan. And it's because it's been going on for so long.
Yeah. I mean, I get it. They are still human, so it is. I'm not trying to act like it's easier to play in front of 70,000 people. I'm sure most people can't do that. But I don't know. I just feel like some of them have been here for a while. Some of them have been playing professional football for a long time. They're not all young players. We do have a lot of young players, yes, but some of them have been playing this level of football for a long time. I don't know if I'm hearing the excuse of they're nervous or the crowd's too big, or you've been playing football at this level, at this height for a lot of them, like I said, a few years. So you have to be able to get up for it now. And if you can't, then maybe the shirt's too big, maybe the badge is too heavy. You might have to find a replacement for you. So I don't know. I'm not really giving excuses. I don't really want to give any excuses to these players, I'll be so honest. The younger ones, fair enough. If Aiden Heaven or Dorgu came out and played today and it wasn't the greatest game, I'll give them a little bit of a pass. But most of the other players, I'm not hearing it, I'll be honest.
We're going to go through what our starting 11 would be in a second. Make sure you get your super chats in. Let us know who you think should start. Who would you be playing if you were Ruben Amorim? Thoughts on Ruud's return? Get your super chats in and let us know how you're feeling. We have Miguchi's son.
Yeah.
name, saying they better win for my birthday, Mainu hat-trick. That would be incredible, and happy birthday, by the way. And Jordan Murray says, if we don't win, divorcing the wife, it's that simple.
It's that simple, man.
Jordan Murray? How have I been done there? Oh yeah, is what it is. Oh, I don't mind. Yeah, you know, we all know what we. Yeah, it's not as bad as some of the names I've had to read out before. I'll tell you that. But yeah, Jordan Murray's wife. You know, I don't know if you'll be rooting for a win or a loss. You might be in a happy marriage, you might be in an unhappy marriage. So we'll see what happens.
Could benefit both sides, man.
Yeah, we're hoping for a win on this one. Nicholas Rush Butler, welcome to the United Stand Members Club. Let's get the results on this poll going as well. See what people are saying surrounding the Dorgu and Aiden Heaven. 77% say that they should start. I think what it is mainly with United fans, they're impatient and they're sick of seeing what they're seeing, so they want fresh blood.
Yeah.
They want to see if something can be different. It's like when we were talking before, Chido Obi Martin.
Yeah. I
don't know if he's with the squad. I've not seen any pictures of him, and I feel like you would have if he was with the squad. But we were saying, like, can he do any worse? If you at least give him an opportunity? He can't.
I don't think it's possible. I genuinely don't think it's possible for him to do any worse. All he needs is to have a good first touch, and he's done better. I'm not even asking for him to score. You don't have to score on your debut, it's fine. You're still 17, I don't mind it. But just have a good first touch and pass it. That's all you need, and you've done better than what we have right now. So, yeah, I don't think, like you said, I don't think he's going to start. I don't think he might even be of the squad today. But
I've not seen a picture of him, and I feel like you would have.
Yeah,
if he
somebody
was.
would have snuck a picture somewhere, or it would have been leaked. The leaks happen all the time, so he would have definitely been leaked if he was in the squad. So I doubt it. But yeah, he can't do worse. Genuinely.
The one thing I will say is, even if Dorgu and Heaven don't start, I'm pretty sure Dorgu will at least get minutes.
Yeah.
We'll see about Heaven.
I don't see why not though, because he's not like he's unfit.
I mean, let's go through what our starting 11s would be and get your super chats in and let us know if you agree or disagree with us. We know Binde's got an injury.
Yeah.
So Binde will not be starting as the cup goalkeeper, which again is a shame for Binde, really, after how well he's done in this competition. But you're assuming that Andre Anana will.
How do goalkeepers even get injured?
But there's a good opportunity for Will Murdoch. He is a young goalkeeper that Ruben Amorim's included in the squad tonight.
Is it?
Yeah, so he will be there.
Okay.
Academy player getting an opportunity, but Anana will probably start in goal. I don't understand how Binde has possibly got an injury, but that's where we're at.
Was there no information like maybe like a wrist, something like his wrist or something?
I mean, it had to be probably, but there's nothing I've seen that's kind of nailed down exactly what injury it is.
Yeah.
Who's your three centre backs, Mods?
Three centre backs. I would go with Mazraoui, Maguire, and I would go with, the thing is we haven't got a game in a while after this. I don't think so anyway, until like the end of next week. So maybe would I throw Euro in there or Delict? I think I'd throw Euro at left centre back, Maguire in the middle, and then Mazraoui on the right.
Really? How come you're not going with Delict?
I don't think it'll make that big of a difference. I genuinely feel like Mazraoui can do a good job there, and I've not seen him there in a minute. And as well, not a highly doubt, that's not the wrong word, that's not the right word, but if Dorgu does play on the left, I just want to see Ahmad on the right, which means Mazraoui's not going to play there, and I feel like he could drop into that right centre back role. So yeah, I just feel like they can just alternate out. But it could be Delict, but I just think, yeah, Mazraoui, Maguire, and Euro.
Do you know what's mad? People are saying Anana's probably kicked Binde.
Probably injured him in training.
He's done a low-key little side mission to try and get him injured.
Get some game time.
Yeah. You're not taking my spot.
Yeah.
I'd go with basically very, very similar, but I'd go with Delict over Maguire. I just think Delict's better. I think Maguire's been really good, and it's really 50-50. But I agree with Euro and Mazraoui. Yeah. But the central one, I'd go with Delict. Then who would your two midfielders in front be? Oh, no, actually, no. Who would your wing-backs be?
Wing-backs. Wing-backs. Okay, I want to see Ahmad at wing-back. Do I want to see Ahmad at wing-back? Yeah, I want to see Ahmad at wing-back on the right-hand side. On the left, you know what? Throw Dorgu in there. Let's just see what he's about. Let's see what happens. It can't be that bad that it's like, oh, we have to take him off at half time. Surely not. So throw Dorgu in there. If not, then Dalot. But yeah, I would say Ahmad and Dorgu.
I would love to see Ahmad and Dorgu. Honestly, I would absolutely love it.
I'm just trying to play attack-minded today. I want to see goals. I just want to see the best chance of us scoring goals. I just feel like Ahmad and Dorgu have the highest probability of us getting some kind of goals. So I want to see them too. And if we're going to go all-out attack, it's going to have to be today.
Ladios has said Dorgu will be on the bench because he is new. I don't get that mentality. Because someone's new, they're on the bench. If they're good enough, they come in.
Yeah.
Like straight
he's
away,
trained.
Not got time to waste. He's been playing. It's not as if it's he's just come in. He's not had he's been playing football for Lecce consistently. He's played multiple positions.
Yeah.
We will continue, just finish off our 11, and then we'll bring in our next guest. So Mods, just take me through the rest of your team quickly.
Yeah, I mean, in the middle, I'll go with Ugarte, simple. I mean, probably the first name you're going to think of, and I said a mid position. The other side, I might go with Collier, because I haven't seen him start in a while. So I feel like I want to bring him back into the team. I've not seen him play in a while, actually, in a few games. He hasn't even come as a sub, so I want to see Collier play. And then in the 10s, Menu, again, I feel like every time he's played there, he's played well, even though he's not played there a lot. The few occasions that he has played in that position, he's been great. And then Bruno next to him, because it's Bruno, he's never going to get injured. He's probably still 100% fit, so I'll put him there. And then up top, again, they can decide between each other as to who starts, Hoyland and Xerxes. I never really have a confident answer as to who can start as a striker. So
neither of them are giving you much to work off.
They've not given me a reason to pick any of them. So yeah, they can just, I don't know, rock paper scissors or something.
Who would you go for in the chat, Hoyland or Xerxes? Who would you rather see start up front for Manchester United? Let me know in the comments. But we have a guest joining us. We have Anil, tactical analysis guru from the channel Blue Tinted Glasses. Tactical analysis guru, I love that. Leicester City fan. Anil, can you hear me?
I can. Hey guys, amazing to be here on your show. Great fan. Sorry, both of us are having pretty bad seasons, but what can you do about it?
Exactly. What can you do about it? I mean, we've both won Premier League titles, which is a lot of the other clubs can't say that, can they? So we can talk about that. We can reminisce on the history. But Anil, first and foremost, are you confident Leicester, Ruven Nistelrooy coming back to Old Trafford? I know Leicester have had a couple of dodgy results here in recent times, but are you confident tonight in the FA Cup?
Not at all, because our recent record against you is absolutely awful. I can't even remember the last time.
You're the only teams we can score goals against. United, you can only score goals against Leicester right now.
Exactly. The only thing I'll say, the only hope I've got is that last time when you guys absolutely stuffed us twice in a row, but is when you had Ruud as your manager.
Yeah.
And obviously you've gone for Ruben, and he's a great manager. I see what he's trying to do, but you can just see that it's too early. And like the thing with Leicester is that our defense is so bad. Like, I don't know if you saw any of our game against Everton, but all it took David Moyes to do was literally just hoofing the ball over the top with our two centre backs who are so clueless, so slow, that he could get in and score. So when we played you guys last time, what was really interesting is I felt that Ruud actually took a really good approach of Manchester United. He didn't try and do anything sophisticated. He just put two CDMs in. He put Ugarte and Casemiro next to one another, and he just played the ball long, and you hit us on transition time and time again. We made Garnacho look like, well, the £70 million player he might have gone for in the window. You guys can talk about that later. So it's just so easy for you. So the one hope that we've got today is that you guys might try to make it unnecessarily complicated, try and play some fancy football, and we can basically just brickhouse a really dodgy win off doing that. Because honestly, just player for player, we're so far off it this season. It's actually quite depressing. A lot of our fans would even say that our team this time last season in the Championship was no lie better than the one that we have now, mainly because of injuries, and we had Keane and Dewsbury Hall last season. So I don't know. That's what I'm hoping. That I get what Ruben Amorim is trying to do for you guys. He's trying to, like, if you're going to get that system, you've got to start learning it. And I don't think you are going to go down. So to be honest, if you might as well learn it. But for me, as a Leicester fan, that actually gives me some hope. Because I think if you just played the way that Ruud had you set up, I think you'd have way more points right now. But I don't think you'd get to where you really want to get to in the long term. So I do understand that. So I do give us a chance. But it does scare me that you've got like a £40 million signing and you can just casually slip into the team. Whereas we've basically been shopping in Poundland this transfer window. I think we spent a total of €3 million on a fullback who's sort of like played 10 games in Serie A. That's what we're dealing with right now. So Yeah, not great to be a Leicester fan right now, to be honest.
I mean, the fullback we bought, to be fair, has also been playing in Serie A for Lecce, who are in serious. They're in trouble in terms of they could be relegated. They're in a relegation battle. So I don't think we've been out there spending too much money. I think he ended up being around 25 million. So don't do what the media do and add money onto it.
Okay.
But Anna, what I will say to you is I think you're dead on there in terms of if we had Rude until the end of the season, we probably would have more points on the board. But it's not. It's a style of play that isn't going to get us where we want to eventually be in the long term. It's just short-term success for long-term pain, I would say. Whereas now it's like short-term pain for long-term gain we're hoping for. But that's what we feel like with every manager coming in. I mean, Moz, what do you want to put to Anil in terms of Leicester as well? We'll get you involved in the conversation.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's good to speak to a fellow Premier League winning fan. Like,
been dining off that for a long time, us guys here, let me tell you.
To be fair, you won it more recently than we did, so you have that in the locker anyway. But I want to talk a bit about your attacking threats. Now, obviously, Jamie Vardy, somehow, at the age of, 37, 38, or something like that, he's old as hell. He's still got, I think, like 7 goals in the league or something like that. He's a lot more than our strikers have. How do you feel like he's played this season? From a Leicester fan, how do you feel like he's played this season and the impact that he's had on your team? And also, how well do you think he will do against our defence, considering that we are playing 3 at the back? We probably will be. Martinez is injured, so we probably will be playing a Maguire or De Ligt, a Euro. How do you think he will do, and who do you think he will have fun with?
He's been a bit off form recently, but I mean, the fact that he still scored 7 goals at that age is quite telling. I think for Leicester, it's a bit of a travesty that we're still relying upon a guy with his walking stick at this time, right? I mean, it shows you the guy's class. It just shows you that I think we've spent something like 70 to 80 million pounds on like 3 or 4 strikers in the last decade, and none of them have made it. Islam Slimani, Kelechi Iheanacho, Patson Daka. We just sold Tom Cannon to a championship team, and none of these guys could displace Vardy. So that just shows you what he's got. The problem is, and with our team in general, is that I think we're the slowest team in the Premier League. I think you guys might be the second slowest, but I think we're the slowest.
Yeah, we're up there.
So it is going to be a bit like 2 clowns having a sort of football match today. Could be what the game's like. So I think the issue is Vardy can finish, but I think in the modern game, it's not enough just to be a finisher. He does drop surprisingly deep to play kind of false 9 role. That is something that I think might surprise you. He really links up the play, and that's an element of his game that he added in the last sort of 3 to 4 years, and he does well at it. But the problem is, without having the pace, a lot of times he will engineer a chance where Vardy from 10 years ago would have raced onto the end of it and finished it because he was absolutely clinical. But what one these days is going to give defenders that second chance to get back. And it's not helped by the fact that our wingers are also pretty slow. So you cannot make this up. Our combined age of our front 3 against Everton was 102 years old. So we've got Jordan Ayew, Jamie Vardy, and we had Bobby de Cordova-Reid. And what does that mean? It means he's got no pace. So it's really, really hard. And we've had some real problems scoring. The one thing, and a guy to watch out for us, is we've got a guy called Bilal El Khanous. He actually scored against you in one of the cup games, and he looks a real find. He actually looks like that, probably the only good business that we've done. It's interesting because the system that Ruben Amorim plays, I think he could do a job as like one of those 10s. I shouldn't be trying to sell our players, but given we're probably going to end up in the championship, it might happen anyway.
El Khanous.
He's good at finding Vardy, and I do think that, like, I think the way that you play, we will get a chance. That's the thing, even though I've been dooming it a bit, and Vardy can take his chances, but he has been a bit off form, but he's got the quality. I think, if he gets in, always got a good chance. And I'm actually hoping Harry Maguire plays, just because whenever Vardy plays against Harry Maguire, he always seems to score. So I'll take that sort of, knack. I'm guessing they had it through training when he was at Leicester. But yeah, our attack is not good, but Vardy, he can still finish, but yeah, we needed a striker in a summer, honesty. And we signed Patson Daka from Red Bull Salzburg a few years ago, and he just hasn't really been it. Bit of a disappointment, to say the least.
Well, your attack has been poor this season, and one of the only teams in the league that has been poorer than Manchester United numbers-wise. Everton and Southampton are the other 2, but with what David Moyes has got going on, he might overtake us soon with that Everton side. I've got a question for you, because I do agree with you in terms of your attack doesn't show much, but would you rather have Højlund and Xerxes your striker options, or Vardy and Daka?
Oh man, that's a tough question.
So I mean,
I might even choose ours, to be honest.
That's what I'm about to say. I would choose yours. Yeah. I think Patson Daka, even though, like you said, you as a Leicester fan, and this is no disrespect to you guys, because you've like Maud said, you've won the Premier League more recently than we have, but you're saying I don't think Daka's quite good enough. He's better than what we've probably got, and that's a problem we have right now.
Is that the problem? Because like when I see you play, a lot of the times I feel like Højlund doesn't even really get given the chances. It's not like you're missing.
Yeah.
Because like, do you know a team that I think you could say is more fairer? Say Arsenal with Kai Havertz. He misses a lot of easy chances, in my opinion. I think your guys' problem, similar to us, is you don't really make many chances. The thing I will say with Ruud van Nistelrooy since he came to Leicester, and to be fair, he's tried to fix the defence. So he's tried to make us play like a bit of a deeper, more compact 4-4-2. But the issue is that has kind of blunted our attack a bit. And the problem is it hasn't really fixed our defence. I think it was the right move, a bit like putting 2 CDMs for you guys. I think like it's important to make sure that you're in the game to be able to win it, right? But actually, as crazy as this sounds, it means that we're not working at either end of the pitch. So I don't think it's a case of our forwards can't score, but we're not even really creating the chances for them to score, which is the worst of both worlds. And I think actually looking at Man United, it's the same. It's like, to be honest with you, a lot of the times it's just pass it to Ahmad and pray. And luckily he looks like such a good player that he can bail you out sort of thing. And maybe now that you're going to replicate that on the other side, or who knows, maybe that's going to really unlock your team a little bit. But for us, I think both teams are struggling with creativity. But it is a bit weird with Manchester United. You'd think with players like Bruno, you'd be able to create a bit more, especially like the whole point of playing a system is that you're not supposed to think, as stupid as this sounds, right? You just do the things that you've been practicing a million times in training and you should be making chances. Like we had Enzo Maresca as our coach last season. And I have to say he was such a brilliant coach because you could just see on the pitch all these sort of like cutbacks, stinks to the far post. And like you knew every game we were going to make 4 or 5 the same sort of chance you'd see every single week, and inevitably you had scored them. And that's just made you, even if you missed one, you're like, don't worry about it, we're going to make another one of these chances the next 5 minutes and we'll probably score it. I think the bigger issue for both of us this season is you're not even seeing those chances being created, so and therefore you're not going to score.
Yeah, I agree with a lot of what you're saying. I think we live in a world at Manchester United where what you're saying is absolutely completely true. We don't create enough, but then we also don't have the quality either. It's kind of like a mixture of both.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask a question as well on a particular player. And I heard about him a while ago, but I don't think he's played a lot for you guys. Facundo Buonanotte. I think he's on loan to you guys from where's he from? Brighton.
Yeah.
How well has he done? Is that like a player that you would want to sign on if you had the opportunity to? I think he scored in the last FA Cup round that you guys had against QPR. He absolutely smashed them. Do you think he could play today, or where do you think he kind of fits into your team?
So he's a really interesting one. He's literally had sort of 2 halves of a season in the one half, if that makes sense. So before Ruud, he was the main man. He was the guy that Steve Cooper was relying on. Literally, our tactic was pass to Facundo and pray. And he was actually bailing us out quite a lot of times and scoring a lot of goals. But Ruud van Nistelrooy's come in and he just doesn't like him at all. In fact, in this press match conference this week, he even said that he was disappointed that the 2 loan signings we made haven't had an impact, which is basically calling out Buonanotte and saying he's not good enough, which is really weird. But I think the reason for that is he's a young player. He's only 19, but he's a bit kind of heads down. So when he gets the ball, he doesn't really look up much and he tries to be a bit of hero ball and beat 3 or 4 people and score. Now, to be fair to him, he's actually pulled that off like a few times and made something good, but I think he feels that he's not so much of a team player. So I actually don't think he'll play. I think he'll want to be on the bench and he might come on sort of second half, but I think he's a great player. Actually, when he first started playing for us, I was like, how good must Brighton be if this guy can't even get into their team? And then they got thumped 7-0 by Forest, which makes it even crazier. So I don't really know what they're playing at, but he's definitely the unfinished article. But I think this guy's got a lot of potential. And it's funny because in Argentina, they kind of call him the next Tevez. And the way he plays, there are sort of Tevez similarities. Like he's surprisingly strong for his size. He can hold up the ball, got that kind of stockiness, like 3 people around him, outmuscle. Well, I don't need to tell you guys about Carlos Tevez. I mean, he was part of that deadly front 3 you guys had when you ruled the roost in Europe. So there's a lot of potential there, and I think he could get there, but a few years away, I think, from really achieving it.
Yeah, I really liked him when the glimpse of him that I've seen. But as United fans, you look at players like that and you see them go on to other teams, and I had the same question as you. I'm like, how is he not starting for Leicester? And then you see kind of where Manchester United at, where we hype up our players. And we think our players are really good, and then you look, and next thing you know, you're 13th in the table. Sometimes players do need that development, and we've got a lot of young players like that as well. Look like they have a lot of potential, But it's like, are they ready now? Probably not. But for United, they have to be ready now, and we should have more experienced players there to kind of take us further in these games and further up the league table. But we're relying on these young players that realistically should be in the position where they're coming off the bench for 20 minutes or they're making an impact for 10 minutes here and there. I mean, speaking about Manchester United's team, I want to ask you your opinions on it. I mean, is there anyone for Manchester United where you think they could be a big threat, or you know, I hope they're not starting tonight, that sort of vibe?
Bruno. I know you guys are hit and miss on him, but the thing is, he's definitely one of those guys that you can be playing rubbish and he can win the game by himself. And he always seems to turn up against us. So he's the one I'm hoping doesn't play. He's cooked us both games that we played against you already so far this season. So he would be the one that I would most fear for. I think obviously Amad Diallo I also touched upon as well, just because I think he is the next big thing for you guys. He actually looks like a player you've been missing for a long time. Not just because of the talent, but if I'm being honest, I think the work ethic and mental attitude, he seems like a Fergie player to me, which I can't say too much of other players in your team. Maybe Ugarte, but I'm not quite sure he's on the technical level. But I think Ahmad's got the combination of the two. And yeah, I've just mentioned we've got like the slowest defense in the league. So if he's playing and he's on it, it's going to be a tough night for us. But yeah, I just think Bruno, he's one of those that could be playing 4 out of 10, 88th minute comes to him, he does something ridiculous and you've got the points and we're just like, oh, screw this guy, not again.
Yeah, I get that. We have very mixed feedback on Bruno. I would say the majority of the Manchester United fan base love him, but there's some Manchester United fans that do get frustrated with him. But I agree with you in the sense of he is a match winner. And then we always ask this question to our guests as well: if you could take one Manchester United player to put into Leicester's team, who would it be? And I'm guessing it might be one of them too.
Well, actually, for where we are right now, and this is probably going to sound insane, I think I'll take either Lenny Yoro or Matthias de Ligt because our defense is awful. And to be honest with you, we need pace at the back. I actually am not sure how quick de Ligt is, but Yoro does look fast. So, you know, plus it's the Leicester model. We'd probably sign him and sell him for about 120 million, probably to you guys in 2 or 3 years' time. So but yeah, honestly, you'll see it. We just have no pace at the back. In fact, for us, you know, it's really depressing because we didn't really sign anyone in the January transfer window. The motto of Leicester City is supposed to be Foxes never quit, but it feels like we have quit. It feels like we've given up. It's so depressing to be a fan because what hope does it really give you if there's like a glaring weakness that like Stevie Wonder can see the flaws in the Leicester City team, but we haven't addressed it. So it's depressing. So yeah, even though you've got all these talented, exciting players, I would just take a fast centre back. If you've got one, you know, release him from his contract so we can sign him on a free transfer. Let's do the deal tonight because we need them desperately in the team.
If you were United then tonight, in terms of the fact that you kind of hammering home that how slow your defence is, do you think it'd be more advantageous for Manchester United to start someone like Xerxes who can drop and hold the ball up and then allow the wingers to get forward and attack your centre-backs that way through like an Amad or a Dorgu or even a Garnacho? Or do you think it'd be more advantageous for someone like Højlund who's got that natural pace to kind of try and get in behind your centre-backs?
I mean, honestly, you could do it either way. Maybe you could even play the two together. I think Højlund's best when he sort of drifts from the left-hand side and makes that kind of outside to in run. Peak Vardy used to do that years ago. He doesn't really do it these days. I think that would be effective if you can find the ball to him. I think, yeah, the Xerxes thing could work. I mean, I would also say as well that maybe we should or shouldn't do this, but Leicester will still try and play quite a build-up style of play. So if Vestergaard's starting, even if he isn't, we'll try and build from the back. So if you can block the passing lanes into our double pivot, which Xerxes could do, I don't know if he's really doing the defensive work that Amorim wants, but if he presses hard to win the ball back, then yes, that'd be a very easy way to beat us. Rob us from the ball. We're going to be caught up high, play the ball into those channels behind the back, and you're literally going to have one-on-ones all night long. So I hope you don't do that, but that probably is the most effective way. But it'll be interesting to see if you can do that, because obviously I think, the thing is that you do see at Old Trafford sometimes, especially if you make a bad start, is that the crowd, you can see that they're feeling a bit glum and miserable, and you can sort of play into that. And I do think that one thing, like if we were going to win, how I would see it is I think we could actually get more possession and keep it for quite a while, make it that it goes a bit flat, get like a shot goal and then sort of build upon that going forwards. And I've seen us do that even a few times this season. So that would be our way of doing it. Just depends if you turn up or not. I mean, I've actually got a question for you guys. Like, since Ruben Amorim came in, do you actually see the work rate of the United players improve or not? Because that's a stat that gets flown about a lot. But I think it's quite true that yeah, there's a lot of people that I feel they signed for United, they think they've made it, and it's like, no, your story's just begun. That's where you're supposed to prove that you're a top player. But a lot of players just shy out and don't work hard, and I think that's why so many teams like your Bournemouths, your Brentfords, your Brightons can do so much damage to Manchester United, because that work rate and ethic just isn't there where it used to be like in yesteryear.
I mean, I'll answer first on that one. In terms of, I think the one place where I've seen the work rate improve, not to the point it needs to, but slightly, is when we do lose the ball in the final third. You see the players run back with a lot more speed and a lot more aggression to try and get back into the position. We've seen that when we played Arsenal last time in the FA Cup. There's that clip that went kind of viral on Twitter. We lost the ball in the final third. We're playing with 10 men and every single player is like racing back as quickly as possible. That didn't used to always happen. But I also think that's because Ruben Amorim has dropped some of the lazy players, to be honest with you. It's like Casemiro doesn't play anymore for Manchester United. I'm not saying he's lazy-ish, but he could be lazy, and he'd always risk it, and then he would never have the pace to get back, and that was an issue for us. Marcus Rashford, who wasn't doing the defensive work getting back, he is now not in the team. He's gone to Aston Villa. Garnacho's definitely improved his work rate in getting back. I mean, I do think in terms of getting back into our defensive position, we have upped it, but I just don't think the speed's there. But I don't know if it's always about, not trying. I think we've just not got players that are physically capable enough and haven't been trained well enough, I think, in terms of the fitness levels of this team. I don't know what you think, Mods.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. I think in terms of like you said, in terms of pressing and stamina and whatnot, I think it's an individual thing with United right now. It's not a team, collective basis of, are we all going to press as a team? Are we all going to be, hounding the opposition, whether it's in the final third or in our half or just a gradual press? It seems sometimes like, you might have Ahmad by himself just pressing the keeper, and to be fair, he does pretty well. He does pretty well, and he has got a couple of goals or created a couple of goals by doing that. Same with someone like Bruno, he might just go and press by himself. It doesn't feel like it's a collective pressure, which is how you kind of win the ball back. There's no point, when you're playing a good team, a team that can play football. I mean, even Southampton, they might be bottom of the league, but they're still a decent team in terms of playing the ball out. So if you go and press by yourself and no one's following you, they're just going to play it around you. They're not kids, they're still big professional footballers. And they're going to be able to. The game has changed for sure. Yeah. The game's changed, so now every team can play it out the back if you give them time. So the problem with United is just it's individual players doing it, and it's not a collective. And I think that will come over time. I think once Ruben, like you said, gets certain plays out, certain plays in, and he kind of brings that mentality of we're going to press together, as a unit. I think we will play that side of our game a lot better. I agree. I think the intelligence sometimes isn't necessarily there as well. But Anil, can I just say, you've been absolutely fantastic. We've loved having you on. The viewers have loved it as well. I mean, I'm going to get your score prediction in a second, but before we get your score prediction, please can you tell everyone where they can find you and go and watch more of your content, because a lot of our viewers watch all of the Premier League, and you've spoke fantastically tonight.
Thank you. Well, it's not just me, we're a team, but our channel's called Blue Tinted Glasses. And let me tell you, you need to be wearing them these days as a Leicester fan. It's pretty grim. But the thing that we specialise in is we do like a lot of analysis, because if you're a team like Leicester, match of the day is going to give you literally 30 seconds tops. So you can even look at our analysis of the 2 times you beat us. I think it'll be better even than what you see on Sky and stuff like that. We break it all down. So follow us on Blue Tinted Glasses on YouTube. And thank you for having me. Good luck. Obviously not for tonight, but for the rest of the season.
Good luck to you as well, though, to be fair.
I would love to go and watch your tactical breakdown of when we beat you tonight. I hope. But score prediction finally to finish us off, that's okay?
Unfortunately, I think you guys are going to win 3-1.
3-1. We've both gone with that, haven't we?
Did you go 3-1 as well?
Yeah, sorry, Mods. I know you copied it. We always copy each other, but today Mods went first. We've just got similar brainwaves, but we're usually wrong, to be fair. So we'll see about that one. But Anil, thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate it. And like we say, good luck for the rest of the season. I hope you do stay up, and you've got Rude. Look after him well. I hope you don't sack him, but we'll see.
Thanks a lot. Cheers,
Thank
guys.
You. Bye.
See you.
Bye.
how great was Anil? I know we've got another guest, guys, and I didn't know if to bring you in during that, but I just thought I'd keep it to that guest and then wait. I didn't want you to look like I was ignoring you.
No, it's all good.
Ramel came in halfway through, and I wanted to introduce him properly. Ramel, you're here on deadline day, and you're back again, and I can't wait to have you here for the game.
No, I appreciate it, man. Thank you. It's like a late substitution. You know what I'm saying? Do my best Ole Gunnar Solskjaer impression, but yeah, man, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. It's good to see you guys in the flesh, man. I'm massive fans.
True.
Honestly, massive. Yeah, of course, man. Of course.
I appreciate that.
I appreciate you guys, man. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, now Sam told us like a while ago that he met you at like a boxing event or something like that.
Yeah.
And you came up to him and he was like, yo, you know Ramel from TGF? And I was like, yeah, Ramel. He's like, yeah, he came up to me and he said he watched United stand, he's going to come on the show. I was like, yeah, 100%,
bro,
bring him on.
I saw him lurking in the crowd and I was like, no, that's not Sam C. I was like, yo, let me go and chat to him because his friend, I spoke to his friend and I was like, I saw him and I was like, should I talk to him or am I going to look a little bit weird? Just like, chat to him. And I was like, nah, forget this, man. What are you saying, Jim? It was good. No, it was good, man. He's good people as well and you're all amazing people. So,
it's good to have you today, man.
Honestly, thank you for having me.
We love that. I always say about this channel, which is like one of the best things, is that people you wouldn't necessarily always see or maybe spend time with in everyday life, you all come together for one thing, and that's Man United, and it makes you feel better. So you learn so much about different people that you wouldn't always speak to, which is one of my favourite things to do anyway.
Honestly, you guys have been a part of like my morning routine. Like literally, like I'm like on my speaker, I'm like, do you know what? Best right, man. Like Mark's right, Mods is right, man. Yeah, I agree with that. Changing my opinions all the time, so like really great point. So yeah, man, I'm gassed.
I love that.
Hopefully your first forum is a therapy forum now.
Yo, broski. Oh man, sometimes I need to talk to myself after games. I'm like, is this worth it? Like, am I doing the right thing? Do I love football?
Yeah,
and
I know what you mean.
I love United way too much, man. And I come back all the time. I'm like, nah, you're my shit. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I hear it.
That's what it's about, man.
I remember, like, for a few of my first shows, we were just losing straight away.
Yeah.
We were just losing that. At the start, I think it was the start of last season.
Oh, serious?
Oh, my first few shows were rough. They were rough for you.
None of you were here for the 7-0 against Liverpool. That was the worst.
Yeah.
That was the worst day.
What's worse is having some of your family is Liverpool fans. And my brother, after 4-0, he texted me and he goes, yeah, what does this look like then, bro? And I was like, bro, man, I switched my phone off. I wasn't having it. I switched the game off. I was like, nah, I'm not having it, man. I just hid in my house somewhere.
I was at that game. I was at the Liverpool game.
You went to the game?
Yeah.
Yo, bro, like that's crazy.
I left early though. I left early. I had to beat the traffic. Come back.
The thing is, leaving early, you'd probably be in more traffic than the rest.
No, when I left, there was quite a few people leaving though. I was not by myself. There was quite a few people.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, I won't throw them under the bus, so I won't name them. But one of our forum guests once, what game was it? It was the Newcastle game this season, actually. He messaged me saying, look, I won't be here for the next forum. I've decided I'm not coming to the games anymore, so you're going to have to find someone else. The next day he messaged me and he was like, right, I actually am going to come, but I was just a bit annoyed last night and I was like...
It's difficult.
Yeah.
Sometimes you need a little outburst, man, you know what I mean? You need to cheer yourself up, man, and that's the best way, so...
I mean, Ricky said he weren't going to be coming to the games
if Bruno.
At the end of January, if Bruno was still starting, and it's February, and he said, I'll see you tonight, so he is going to be there.
Ricky the legend as well, man.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. But Ramel, lovely to have you on.
No, thank you
Team
very
News
much.
is going to be in soon. I want to ask you quickly, would you start the new signing Doggy tonight?
I actually would, I would definitely start him because I just feel like if you were going to put him in a game, any game right now, it would be this game because it's, I'm not saying Leicester's complete like crap, but they're not doing the best at the moment. So it would be good to put him in a game where there's not that much pressure, and at half time, if it's a good scoreline or whatever, you could just take him off, put a regular on, and then build his confidence a little bit. So I think I would start him personally. Would you guys?
Yeah, the majority of our viewers have said we would. I think it's 77% have said that we would start him. I think most people feel like just because like we said about quite a few positions right now. Can it get any worse, like in certain positions? And as much as Dallo has done a job there, he's not a left back. He's a right-sided player, so it's good to just get someone there with a left foot. And we've got no left footers now in our defence because Lissandro's out as well.
Wow,
you need
we
at least
don't.
one, don't you, really?
We don't, yeah.
Yeah.
And Luke Shaw's just gone out again.
Oh man, I was so sad when that news came out, man. I didn't know what
I
to
was
think.
not surprised at all. I saw it and I thought, yep, that sounds about right. And then
Yeah,
you kinda just put your phone
I'm not totally like surprised, but man, when he's fit, he's such a good asset to have.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate. But do you know Aiden Heaven? Is he like left-footed?
Yeah.
Is he? Could you see him playing today?
I mean, that's another one that we just discussed earlier. I couldn't see him playing. I do, as I said, I do want to see him maybe get a nice little 5 minutes or 10 minutes here, like at the end of the game, if we are comfortable. Last thing I want to do is put him in a high pressurized situation where we're still chasing the game, and it's like he comes on and he makes one wrong mistake, and all of a sudden, you know what the fan base can be like, very quick to get onto players.
Turn on
That's the last thing I want for an 18-year-old coming into this team. I don't want that. So, yeah, if we are comfortable, give him a few minutes. Let's just see what he looks like. I just want to see him kick a ball, I'll be honest. 'Cause I haven't seen it. I haven't seen him kick a ball. That's what I want to see. So, yeah, I can potentially see Aiden coming in. But it will be a great game if we do see Dorgu and Aiden Heaven both finish off the game.
Yeah, true.
And we have a win. I think that'd be a great ending.
It would. It'd be a good
true.
confidence builder as well. You've seen Yoro, obviously, who signed in the summer. He's had quite a few of them moments where I think it's become like one of them like memes now on Twitter where you know you're winning a game when not
Yoro comes on.
Hopefully Dorgu, but when Yoro comes on, every time he's subbed on, we end up going seeing that game out. And he's been subbed into some interesting
Difficult
environments
game.
as well. That Liverpool game that we went on to win, the Arsenal 10 men. You know, Ruben Amorim really has put some confidence in him. He might start tonight, actually.
That Nunes tackle, man. Yo, when I tell you I was on my feet, I was cheering. I was like, yo, that's my guy. I believed in him from the start. It was class, man. It was class.
It was. And that kind of shows it I've said it before, his mentality. For a young player, he was probably 18 around at that time, to come into that game against Liverpool, easily the best team in the league, probably the best team in the world.
Yeah,
I mean, they're in the conversation anyway. Even though you want to disagree, they're in the conversation.
It's true.
Difficult game. We're both still in it. It's not like the game's done. We're both still in it.
Yeah.
And he's pulled off an amazing tackle like that to kind of pretty much win us a game and save us from losing.
Did you think Nunes was going to score though? Because I think he would have hit the post.
Yeah, he probably would have missed, but
but
he could have passed it to Salah. And Salah might have scored.
no, he's scoring. He's going to bury it. Yeah, I'll take it back.
So it's either way. He could have went either way.
Do you know what as well? Did you see his interview with Rio? And
Yeah.
he was talking about the Southampton game because he got rinsed, didn't he?
Yeah.
And he was saying he's watched it back. He said he didn't enjoy it, but he said he likes to watch it on his own because he wanted to see what he did wrong and where he could improve. And a lot of players, I feel like, I mean, would just want to put that game behind them and just kind of leave it there and move forward. But a player at that age kind of taking accountability in an interview as well, because when you're saying it in an interview, you're saying it to everyone because everyone's watching that, all United fans. That was a really bad game for me, and I wanted to go back and I wanted to see what I could do differently. I think that kind of shows, you know, his confidence in himself as well.
Yeah, I think everyone was pretty much saying after that game, this is a huge learning curve for him. You know, that's probably the most difficult game he's ever had. You know, he got absolutely skinned. It was
all sorts of fans messaging me that night.
Yeah,
it was a hard watch. It was like he got put in the deep end.
I felt so bad. He's a young guy. Like,
he was in the trenches.
This shouldn't be happening to young players. Like, we should have taken him off, like, or something. But
Do you know what as well? Amorim did not sub him, did he?
He kept him over the whole game, 90 minutes, and he had to just deal with it. But he came out the game. We ended up still obviously somehow winning that game. So it was a bit. If we had lost the game, it would have been even more difficult.
Yeah, the critics would have been out for him.
The fact that we ended up winning means people kind of forgot about it quickly. But yeah, huge lesson that you have to learn.
What I think's interesting though, do you know if we go with like wing backs and we go with like a left wing back and right wing back, we've got two left-footed wide players.
Yeah.
Is that normally what Amorim does?
Nah.
Instead of having two, you know how you'd have two inverted.
It's Sporting actually. He had his left-sided wing back was left-footed, and his right-sided wing back, Katamau, I think it was. Correct me if I'm wrong on that one. I'm pretty sure that was his name. Was predominantly left-footed, but also was good on his right as well. So the right-sided one was more inverted, like Ahmad is. I know Quenda's come through now and he's doing the business as well. But it was the majority of the time while Ruben Amorim was there, he was bringing Kenda in he was bringing Kenda in, you know, as he was kind of in that last season and now as well. He's playing a lot more games now. Amorim's left, but he did usually have that inverted right-sided wing back and more orthodox kind of left-sided player. So it does kind of work out.
Oh, okay.
We've got some the lineup actually is out for Manchester United, so let me get that up. I'm so excited.
I'm
So it
excited
is as well, it's because no one's seen really Daryu or Heaven, so it's like we actually want to see him. So we have the starting lineup for Manchester United, and it is Onana in goal. You have a back three of Mazraoui, Maguire, and Yoro.
Oh, okay.
You have your wing backs as Dorgu starts for Manchester United.
Let's go.
And Dalot.
Okay.
You have Bruno Fernandes and Ugarte. And you have Mainu,
Sorry, Ahmad.
Ahmad, and Højlund. Yeah.
Yeah. That's similar to the
So-
team that I kind of predicted to.
I like that team.
strong team.
I reckon, again, Mainu plays in the 10 and Bruno maybe plays a little bit deeper next to Ugarte. Do you reckon that's the way he'll go about it?
Do you like Fernandes in the pivot?
I do, you know. I prefer him there. It's a difficult one for me because obviously we know how good Bruno is close to goal because, you know, he creates stuff. He's really good when you give him the opportunity to finish as well. I know sometimes he misses chances, but usually like he'll put the ball in the back of the net. But at the same time, I do think in that position in Amorim's system, he does lack the pace that's kind of needed. And sometimes I think he loses the ball too much in that area.
Yeah.
He's trying too much. Whereas I think when he has played deeper, he's a lot more disciplined. He's a lot simpler on the ball. He keeps things ticking. And he can carry the ball out from back to front and kind of dictate from there. So you do miss a little bit when you drop him deeper. But I think for the team, you overall get a more disciplined player.
I feel like with Bruno, regardless of where he plays, he could play left back or centre back or
Top
even in
player,
net. He's going to be in the final third. Bruno is going to find his way into the box regardless. He'll find his way there anyway. So I don't think it even matters where we put him. We're going to see Bruno there at some point in the game. But the reality is, and the last game that we played, the Crystal Palace game, he did this a lot. He's like a magnet to the goals. Like he can't stay in the middle of the pitch. He's either going to be close to our goal and picking it up from Onana, or he's going to be close to their goal and be like really high into the final third. So when he plays as like in the pivot, you seen him, and Ricky was getting so annoyed about this, like on the forum. You seen him literally dropping even further back than the centre backs. He is the furthest player back. He shouldn't be. Like he shouldn't be like the thing with Amrim that he kind of wanted to bring into this team is discipline. He wants our players to be more disciplined to their formation, to their position. With Bruno, there is always going to be a lack of discipline at some point in this game. Even if he is playing a bit deeper, he's going to find a way to kind of find his way out of position, if that makes sense. But like Beth said, I do think he does play a little bit better in that pivot just because he has a bit more time on the ball, a bit more space. He's not being pressured as much, and he can look up and find the passes to whoever it's going to be, whether it is a Mainu or an Ahmad or a Højlund. He can look up at even the wing backs now, Dorgu and Dalot on the right hand side. He can look up and find those passes. So I feel a little bit more confident with him playing there than him playing as one of the 10s because he is going to be the furthest player forward and he's going to be a further out of position, which could result in counter-attacks, especially on the transition. We're going to be outnumbered in the midfield. That's the last thing we want, and we've seen it happen a lot of times this season.
Yeah, true. I almost put it down as well to like, do you know, like a confidence thing. I feel like if you could say who's the most confident player in our team, it would be Bruno.
Yeah.
And some games where most games this season, we do not start well. And we can't take the ball straight from Onana. I think that's when Bruno's like, okay, I'll do it myself.
Yeah.
And even though they got battered the other day, I kind of saw it with Arsenal. They weren't playing it good from the back, so Odegaard came all the way back, and then he started to dictate play, and they actually started to play like better because he came all the way back and was like, okay, I'll do it myself. But like you said, it's almost like when he does that, we're more susceptible to counter-attacks, and that's when it's like, okay, in doing that, no one's showing up, so he has to do it himself, take the burden on, and sometimes we lose out because of it. Yeah, I don't know.
I think one of the differences between probably Odegaard doing that and Bruno is we're playing three at the back. Our formation is completely different. With him, it's like there's a little bit more structure in terms of him picking the ball up and playing it through the defence and into the midfield. With us, because our formation is different, like I said before, it's easy for us to get counted, or it's easier for us to be at our position, and now the midfield's empty. And I mean, we saw it with Liverpool earlier in the season. all it takes is one player or like a Gravenberch or I remember even Van der Ven getting the ball and just running in a straight line and our midfield was just out of position. It is so important for our midfield to be. It was a dangerous game. It was a bad game, but it just kind of highlights the importance of our midfielders being in the right position at the right time, just in case we do get counted on. And I feel like with Bruno, when he does wander out of position a little bit, it does leave us susceptible of being counter-attacked on, and I kind of don't want that today. So hopefully he stays a bit more in position.
Yeah, keeps his positional discipline. We have got some super chats to read out. We have Escape saying, Ahmad wing back over Dallo and Garnacho in gives us more. I do not want to see us starting a lineup without Ahmad in it. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, fair.
Kawika says, if he can stay disciplined in the middle and not leave Ugarte by himself, we will be fine. Archie Ralph says, Ramel, your childish bro, lol, up the Reds.
Respect, man, respect.
RMD says, so happy to see you on the show, Ramel. Grew up watching TGF and it was a daily routine for me. Can we get a what do you mean, please?
Oh my days. Now that's for Jay, you know, fam. That's not my slogan to say. I can't lie to you. Sorry to disappoint this time. Maybe one time.
If we win tonight, maybe on the forum.
Yeah, definitely.
Nicholas with a super chat in. Thank you. Scott Hargreaves says that Leicester guy was class. He was great. Yetchi says, quality guest, love it. Andy Atherton says, wing-backs are so important to Amorim's system. In a perfect world, Mendes and Frimpong come in. Maybe Dorgu and Ahmad can progress into starting wing-backs. We 100% need Gyökeres, a number 8, and a goalkeeper. Siri Bar says, what's the name of your guest? Great analysis, like his style. Well, the name of the Leicester fan was Anil, and we've got Ramel on now. So
not so much analysis, but like, I give the good vibes out. So.
Sargi says, Amorim said in one of his press conferences that you can't play a high line with Maguire. United should have most of the ball, so they should play a high line in order to press and win the ball high and early. And Dweeba says Xerxes gives us more, Rasmus is a ghost. And Sirabar says, in an Amorim system, Mazraoui's best position is right-sided centre-back. And Lewis says, the lit has been fantastic for a while now. And Class of 99 says, I like the lineup apart from Dallo and Rasmus, not really giving Xerxes a chance. How many starts has he had? Højlund's been one of our worst players. Do you think that's just down to like the attributes that Højlund has is more of maybe it's typical number 9 that Ruben Amorim would go for? I don't think he's sold on either players, to be honest, hence why Cobby started last game at number 9.
Yeah,
that was crazy. I do think as well, probably it's like a tactical decision in terms of, I think, did you say that his name was Anil?
Yeah.
He did say Leicester's centre-backs are really slow and Højlund's quite quick. So maybe that he took that into consideration because Xerxes is not that fast, but Højlund's definitely quicker than he is. Maybe it was a tactical decision and they just need confidence, man. I think he just needs confidence. He needs to go up against a backline that isn't that good, bag some goals and take the form to the Premier League and all the competitions, I feel.
Yeah, I feel like that sounds good, but it almost just sounds like a fairy tale almost. It's like, yeah, come on, you're going to play, get some poor defenders, get some goals, and then the Premier League will just work itself out. We've seen him play against terrible defenders. Like, not terrible, but we've seen him play against the lower defenders, teams that have conceded a lot of goals, and he still struggled. He still struggled nearly every game, so I'm genuinely not too sure that even the defenders is a problem with Højlund now. I don't think it's a case of, we've used the excuse of no service, whatever that means is whatever. That's a whole other conversation. We've used the excuse of, he was playing against Van Dijk and he was playing against Saliba and they're difficult defenders, and then he played Southampton and then he played FCSB or whatever that team's called, and then he played all these other teams, not the same quality defenders. So now that's out the window. Like, where are we going to go to next with the excuses with Højlund? Like, what do we, like, at some point it's just, okay, you're not, as a footballer, you're just not giving us the quality that we need. I'll be honest there, £72 million, just forget about it, sell him on loan.
I'm going to be so real. We've been saying it for a long time that you've just got to ignore the price tag, and if he needs a loan, he needs a loan, and I would loan him. I don't want to sell him yet because I still have some sort of belief, but I think tonight, I don't know if it's just my red tinted glasses, I think tonight is his best opportunity to show he's got something. You've got a left wing back now in Dorgu putting crosses into the box, hopefully. Danish connection there. They both know each other from the Danish national team. I'm clutching at straws, but I'm just thinking Højlund likes to drift left sometimes. Hopefully that sort of combination, and like Anil said, he's going up against slow centre backs. I mean, Leicester have conceded in their last 12 games. Like surely at Old Trafford tonight. I mean, we won 5-2 last time. I know it's a different manager, but Højlund's got to have a chance. If he doesn't do anything tonight, I don't think you can justify him starting the next game or starting. You've got to then start giving Xerxes a chance, because I think Amorim's thinking tonight is, like you said, fast player against slow centre-backs, but also this is his best opportunity to get something to get his confidence up and maybe go on some sort of run.
One thing I will say is with the whole fast play against slow centre-backs, I get it, it kind of works in theory, that it should work, but also, considering that Dorgu is a fast player, Ahmad's obviously a fast player, and who were the other two tens? It was Manu and
Ahmad.
Ahmad. Who was? Oh yeah, Dallow's on as a right wing back. I'm not saying he's a fast player, but one thing I will say is using Xerxes can probably facilitate those fast players even better, if that makes sense. Because if Xerxes was to drop in deep and actually collect the ball and get it to his feet, and we see a Dorgu kind of running behind, or we see an Ahmad running behind, he's more likely to pick them out, and they will go and, whether it's cross the ball in or Ahmad finish a chance or whatever, I would rely on those fast players and play to their strengths more than playing to Højlund's fast strengths, if that makes sense. I'd rather pick a player like Xerxes and say, you know what, yeah, like I said, pick up the ball, hold it, and whilst these players run off you, find the passes out here, whether it's to the left or to the right, rather than saying, okay, Højlund, you're going to be the one that everyone's going to play towards, and hopefully you're the one who's going to finish all our chances.
Yeah, there was a point in one of our last games as well where I saw Højlund got the ball to feet, and the touch was just so bad.
Yeah, trampoline.
And I was like, this isn't. He wasn't even like this last season. Like I don't know what's happened. Isak had like a really bad not really bad first. It was kind of like injury plague.
Yeah.
But I watched him the other day, bro. That guy's different, bro. Different, bro.
Best striker in the league. I said it. And you didn't want to hear me?
No, I'm gonna have to back you on that one.
When I said it,
I watched it when you said it, and I was like,
I did say Haaland. Look at what Haaland scored last year, but the more I watch Isak, it's like it's
a better
insane,
player.
isn't it?
He's just a better player.
He will take the ball on the halfway line, turn, and just rinse defenders, bro. I looked at the goal that he scored against Van Dijk the other day, and I was like, bro, like Højlund, just do something for me, man. Like, just please.
I don't think Højlund's taken a shot from that far in his life.
That's why.
I don't think he has, genuinely.
That's why it bugs me when people say, like, people regularly say, like, you could put anyone in this team and they would not score. And I'm like, watch Isak absolutely tear Gabriel and Saliba a new one like he did yesterday. Like, there's a way you can bully centre backs, some of the best centre backs in the league.
Yeah.
In the world even. And it's like, we don't have anyone who can do that. There is levels to the game.
Yeah. Have you got the Leicester team? I'm seeing some stuff in the chat. And I don't think it's...
to get the Leicester team now.
What is worrying? What do you mean?
Let's just see the Leicester team.
I think as well we need to actually read out the bench for Manchester United, because we've not done that yet. We got so carried away with Dorgu starting on the starting 11. Chido Martin hasn't made the bench. He's playing for the under-21s, but the bench is De Ligt, Heaven, Lindelof, Casemiro, Collier, Eriksson, Garnacho, and Xerxes. So you've got options on there. Casemiro again, on the bench, which the fact he's managed to survive the January transfer window is crazy. But you've got Garnacho to come off, you've got Xerxes there, Eriksson as well, you've got a little bit of something. Let me get Leicester's team up really quick. It should be on here actually. Using FootMob. Let me get it up. It will load. Here we go. So Leicester's team is Hermansen in goal. You've got Justin, Fies, Okole and Thomas as their back four. You've got Sumari and Ndidi as their two midfielders. You've got Ayew, El Kanous, Reed and Daka. So Højlund, sorry. So Vardy doesn't start up front for them. It is Patson Daka starting up front. That El Kanous was who Anil told us to keep an eye on. Said he's a good player, and he actually was trying to flog him to us, weren't he? Saying he could work in Amorim's 10 system.
He was.
And they've actually, I'm looking at they've made a little bit of a change at the back there. But do you remember when Ndidi was like the next best thing that everyone was saying we should buy? But he's still at Leicester.
Yeah.
But what do you think? Anything from that team?
I think the main thing is obviously Vardy not started. I mean, you spoke about it before, about how somehow at 38 he still scored 7 goals in the Premier League. I don't think both of our strikers combined haven't scored more than 5 goals.
He scored 7?
Yeah, in the Premier League. so far.
Fair
I think he got
play
like
to
3
him.
assists as well, something like that. Maybe like, I don't know, something around them kind of numbers. But I mean, like I said, both our strikers combined haven't scored more than 5. So for Jamie Vardy, I know he would never leave Leicester, but I would have taken him alone for 6 months.
You know what?
I would have taken him alone over our 2 strikers. But yeah, I think him not playing, I'm not going to say it's a huge difference, because I'll be honest, I haven't seen Leicester a lot this season, so I don't know how Dak is going to play. And obviously that new player that he spoke about, I'm not sure how good he is as well. So
Not even on the bench either, Vardy.
Not on the bench?
So he must be out.
Crazy.
He must be out.
Okay. Oh, well.
Buonanet is on the bench. Yeah.
Facundo.
Yeah.
He's a decent
good.
player.
Good
I think he either scored twice or got a goal and assist in the last round for Leicester against QPR, and when they smacked them up like 6-2. So he's a decent player to look out for. He's on loan though, so he won't be there next season.
I'm interested to see how the midfield's going to go, because Indy and what is it, Sumari?
Yeah.
They work like really hard.
Yeah.
So I'm intrigued to see how it goes. There's not too much creativity in there, but defensively, like I feel like there's. It will be interesting to see Ugarte and Fernandes try and I don't know. I just want to see them win the midfield battle early on and make sure it stays that way throughout the majority of the game. But it'll be interesting to see that, man.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm just kind of looking. Does Daka's pacing against Maguire worry you at all?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, we've got a bit of cover though, because we've got a bit of cover.
Mazraoui and Yoro there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I think that's a little bit of cover there. Hopefully, that last Crystal Palace game, I don't know if you watched the second goal again. That's probably one of the worst defending I have seen in my life. Like honestly, position-wise, everyone was out of position.
We say that every game.
Yeah, we do see that every game. But just watch. If anyone hasn't watched the Crystal Palace game again, go and watch that last goal. It all came from one bad pass from Xerxes, and I think in the space of 10 seconds. There was a 2-on-1, or it was a 2-on-1 with Maguire. Bruno was out of the picture, he lost his man. Maguire was in no man's land, he didn't know what he was doing. Honestly, some of the worst defending I've seen in my life, so we cannot play like that again.
Bro, when I see Maguire running back towards goal, I just know...
Just give up.
It's just dead. Because
then it's just Onana, and even that's a problem.
I actually like Maguire, but man, his pace is bad, bro. Bad.
Yeah.
So
That's somewhere where they could try to expose our weaknesses, but we'll see. Harry has been. The thing is, Harry Maguire's been so good recently, but he can drop that individual error that just kills you off, like he did in the Crystal Palace game. But let's hope today he's all right. I am surprised that he didn't go with De Ligt, to be honest, because I think that's his best team, bar De Ligt, if on paper.
So De Ligt over Maguire or De Ligt over Mazraoui?
Not over Mazraoui, probably over Maguire. Or Yoro even.
Because then at least you've got relative... I would say that's probably our quickest back line. If it's them three. De Ligt is actually quite
He's quicker
quick.
than what people think,
Yeah, people always say he's slow, but he's actually not that slow.
Just because he's a unit, he's a bit he's tall, that's why people think he's slow, but he's not that slow.
I think he shifts, man. He's pretty quick, I think he is anyway.
There's some people in the chat saying they think Dorgu's going to be left-sided centre-back. He won't be. He'll be left wing-back today.
Because you think Dallow's going to go on the left and Mazraoui on the right?
Yeah,
I think that's a big mistake if they do that.
No, I doubt
Does it even make sense? Because he's going to... No, it doesn't really...
It's because on FootMob, that's what it says. Roro P29 said, Beth, on FootMob, it says that Dorgu, Yoro are centre-backs and Dallo and Mazraoui are the wing-backs. Why? I think that's someone just rushing, putting it in, to be honest. Unless they've got some inside scoop.
Why on earth are we bringing a left wing-back and putting centre-back?
That's counterproductive. I really don't think we should be doing that. That's terrible.
Brodymon says, Højlund needs to realise he doesn't need to have a wrestling match every time they need him to hold up the ball. There are other ways to do it. Pranjal says, Casemiro is now a person that only tweets about Manchester United. He's joined for Twitter.
Has he?
He always posts about the game, doesn't he? But you never sees him in it.
A nice little poster in it. He always does it, man. It's nice. I'm like, yeah, I like that. Yeah.
He's getting old, man. He's getting old.
Sadji says, 350 grand a week for a little Instagram edit. Love it. Sadji says, I like the balance on the wings. Dorgu overlaps, Mainu and Dallo inserts, and Ahmad plays more on the outside. Well, that is true, to be fair, because when Dallo's on the right wing back, it does allow Ahmad to kind of be able to come inside and go outside, because Dallo is good at inverting. So if he wants to come in and occupy that space, you can get Ahmad out wide, which is where he has thrived for us, to be honest.
Yeah.
That's true.
Where
do you prefer Ahmad? like on the wing back or essentially?
I prefer him as a wing back, to be honest. But the thing is for me, which is what I said the last time I was on, is in this team, I prefer him as a wing back because I think that's where he's, you know, he gets the most space out wide, and I don't think he gets as much space there as a 10. But I think as a 10, he would work well, and I think he's good enough to play as a 10 if you get another attacking wing back to play with him. When he's on his own there as a 10, and you've got Mazraoui, he doesn't really give him enough to like feed off. Like, you're supposed to have them players interchanging. You're supposed to. It's like when Anthony, even though Anthony wasn't good enough, when he did come on as a wing back, Ahmad would do better and he'd get more space because Anthony would start occupying defenders, and it just gives Ahmad that space to play. So I think once you've actually got a right wing back in that's good enough, like a Kenda for example, Ahmad in the 10 will look a lot better than what he does currently with like a Mazraoui.
Yeah, 100%. And I think as well, we saw it a lot with Malacia when he was playing left wing back, because he doesn't have much of a threat. And because the other opposition team's not going to be thinking, oh, Malacia's on the ball, let me close him down, or let's double him up. It means that more of the focus ends up on the 10. For example, Garnacho or wherever it is, Ahmad on the right, they get pressed a lot. They can easily be, not easily, but they can be taken out of the game if the opposition know that the wing backs are not much of a threat, which means Ahmad could end up going quiet. And it's not because he's having a bad game, it's just there's no other threat on that side of the pitch. So it means that they can easily just target Ahmad and try and stop him from, getting onto the ball. Or when he does get onto the ball, they can press him quickly because, like I said, there's no one who's out wide, who's dragging or stretching the pitch and creating another problem. So, like you said, I think if he is playing with a capable right wing back, he is 100 times better in the 10. But because he hasn't been playing with that, as a right wing back, he is, in my opinion, so far been better in that position.
Yeah. I mean, Amorim clearly feels like he needs something closer to goal because we've just not got much quality there, have we? And I think that's why, as well, when he can, he does play him as that number 10. I mean, you've got Kai saying, I'm looking forward to seeing Dorgu play. Maybe Heaven will get some minutes too. Love Ramel's TikToks. Thank you for that. We also have Ryan saying, we miss Ricky. Ricky will be on the fans forum, so look forward to that. And Gustav says, great to see some Danes in the team. Love my countrymen. Also, Ramel, show the trim. TGF, do it.
Oh yeah, calm. Got it fresh today. What do you mean? Don't try and at me. Yeah, it was fresh today, broski.
I didn't know where he was going with that one.
Like
I was like, when you start reading out Super Chat and you're like, where am I going with this?
Oh no! If it was yesterday, the hat wasn't going to come off. I was in the gutter yesterday, so.
I always feel like that, we've obviously girls don't have that kind of problem, but I'm like, when a lad's wearing a hat, I'm always like,
yeah, you know what it is. I wear
what's under that hat?
Broski, honestly, this morning I was suspect, bro. I looked old, bro. So caught me at a good time.
I mean, in terms of Kobbie Mainoo, in the 10, we hope. It might be Bruno, but we think it's going to be Kobbie Mainoo because Ruben Amorim himself has come out and said he was played better there, he had so much more freedom, and he struggled with the defensive responsibilities of playing in that pivot. So Kobbie Mainoo, it would be his second game starting from the 10. He started against FCSB, obviously in the Europa League. Today's a cup game. You're against Premier League opposition. Granted, it is Leicester who aren't doing so well. But are you excited to see if that is genuinely a position he can nail down? Because you can't always tell just off one game. You want to see a bit more kind of coverage.
Yeah, I think this is his perfect position in this team anyway. Especially because he's going to be playing next to Ahmad, who, I mean, we've seen them both link up a few times now, and it's looking quick, it's looking efficient, and like you said, with Mazraoui, because he's not necessarily offensively minded, he doesn't understand like those little triangles and when to pass and move and get into certain positions. Mainly understands that perfectly. His IQ and that side of the game is so high, and he gets in behind very well. This whole thing about Mainoo just being too slow and he can't get in behind, it's just nonsense. Like, he can't. He's done it. We've seen him do it before. That FCSB game, if he scored that volley, oh my gosh, that would have been our goal of the season.
Bro, I was on my feet, bro. Already before he even hit the trigger, bro. I was on my feet. I was ready for him to pull the trigger, and it was just so unlucky.
Yeah,
good defending, to be fair.
Yeah, it was. But like I said, he's shown he's capable of being able to play in that position and also getting behind, get into those channels, make the right runs. And him and Ahmad, look, I just think that's a match made in heaven. They both seem to have great chemistry together. They understand each other's game. Look, I'm very excited to see those two play together in this team.
Ruben Amorim has come out with a quote on Rasmus Højlund. He said, "We need to take advantage of Højlund's speed. We need a goal scorer who can score goals, and he is capable of doing that. He needs confidence, but we need to improve our football to help him to score." Backing him there. Backing him. A little bit of what Anil said about creating more chances. A little bit about what we said about his speed against the slower defenders, but also talking about how he feels like he can be a goal scorer given the right opportunity. Do you think that's just him kind of giving him a bit of confidence? Because he, let's be honest, Ruben Amorim doesn't have anything else between now and the end of the season.
Yeah. If he had another option, he would have picked them. That's just what it is. He just doesn't have another option. You've seen him drop so many players because they're not good enough. We saw him drop Rashford, we saw him drop Garnacho, we saw him drop, I don't know, whoever else. We saw him drop Højlund and Xerxes for one game and play Manu. He just doesn't have any other options. He doesn't want to throw his players in the bin and actually, get the fan base to not back them. He just wants them to kind of play as good as they can right now. And then he's probably just waiting for summer right now, thinking, let's just get to summer with what we have, and I'm going to get my striker in.
I'm kind of hoping, like, as you said before, Dorgu whips in a mad cross, and then you just see a diving header from Højlund. I just want to see him have some chances.
He ain't doing a diving header.
Bro, I'm trying to be. I'm trying to be. I'm trying to be optimistic.
Diving header came out your mouth.
Oh, come on, man! I'm just trying to be.
A diving header from Højlund. You know what?
Bro.
Fair enough. Pigs can fly in it.
Yeah, he's gonna fly, bro. Do you know what I mean? No, I would, because some games you can't name 3 good chances that Højlund gets because our players don't make chances for him.
Yeah.
I would just like to.
But is he getting in the right positions, Ramel?
No, you're right. You're totally right. But I would love to critique. Oh, you should have finished that. You should have finished that. But I feel like it's hard to say because
you're all right.
He doesn't get the chances. Yeah. But as you said, he doesn't. He's probably not in the right positions to, or making in the build up. He's probably not getting it into feet, good touch, passing it off, running it. Like, I'm not seeing that, but I just want to see more chances from him, basically.
Yeah. I do think confidence is absolutely massive when it comes to forward players. So Ruben Amorim is obviously trying to give him a bit of that. And like I said, this is the game. Like, if you can't do it today in the cup against no disrespect because they might beat us because other teams have come here, but against Leicester, like, you've got your win back now in Dorgu, hopefully putting crosses in. Like, this is our strongest team. You've got Manu and Ahmad in behind you who are going to make chances, I think. We're very good on the football, threading them passes through. Then it's time to close up shop because I just don't think there's much more opportunity you can get. So I'm hoping today he does get something, shows a bit, and you can build off that because confidence I think is massively needed. I think one goal could really start something for Højlund, hopefully. It's just, for me, what also is a mad thing is he's our striker, but he's probably the forward player that I've seen take the least amount of shots. I don't even remember the last time he took a shot.
Exactly, that's what I mean. That's why I was saying the whole chance thing. I can't remember him taking a shot at all in the last few games.
So Ahmad takes shots, Garnacho takes shots, Bruno always takes a shot.
Mainly get shots.
He's never taken a shot.
Mainly had 2 shots in 10 minutes playing as a striker against Crystal Palace.
Yeah. I can't even. I'm trying to back Rasmus.
It's the same. He's playing in front of the same players. You know what it is? I actually used to be a Højlund fan. I actually used to back him a lot in the show, and I got to the point where I used to back him a lot, to the point where everyone's like, "Why are you backing him so much?" But now I'm just like, I'm giving him too many excuses. I've given up trying to back him so much. So when you see a player like Manu take his position and get more shots in 10 minutes, what excuse can you give him?
Yeah,
I don't know.
No, you've got a point.
Quickly, before we wrap up, because Matt will be live soon, quick player to watch from both of you. Who are you specifically I really want to see what you can do today? I think it's obvious, isn't it?
It's got to be Dorgu.
It's got to be Dorgu. It's got to be, man, because I feel like he might change the way we play on the left-hand side. Yeah. Whipping crosses in, overlaps, and I'm keen to see his defensive work as well. Yeah. See if he's got the potential to be a really good left wing back in the Premier League.
And as well, Dallo on the right hand side.
Yeah.
Because everyone's been giving that excuse of he's on the left. This is not his fault.
Ricky will be getting told this evening.
So we'll see things are different on the right hand side for Dallo. But them two definitely the players to watch.
I'm watching the game with Ricky today, so I'll be able to get his first-hand experience.
Okay.
He's been banging on about how he thinks Dallo is going to be the answer on that right hand side.
Says it all the time, so hopefully he is anyway.
Hopefully he is. I mean, we'll have to wait and see. Score predictions, guys, as well?
I haven't heard this prediction today, but I'm going to go with 3-1, I'm joking. You should have seen Beth's face. No. Real. I'm just gonna
go
be
with
different.
it. You can go.
No. I'm gonna say 3-0. I'm gonna be optimistic. Rasmus hat trick. I'm joking. But 3-0. 4-0.
Imagine the days, the scenes. Oh, that's all I've said.
It's blowing up.
I would, if he scores a diving header, you're going global, mate.
Bro, honestly, I'm gonna sit down in the forum, and I'm just doing that. Probably the wrong time to do that. But that's it.
What did he? That was that one. What was his fault? What was it? The celebration that he did that time.
Gladiator thing. That's it.
Oh, the Rockstar one. Remember the Rockstar one last season?
Oh, bro, that was beautiful. The scenes, bro. Yeah. That was nice.
That was prime Highland. Prime Highland.
For like 5 games.
Yeah, but I'll say 3-1 as well. We're going to concede.
I am also going to go 3-1. Yeah, I can't change my prediction, but honestly, Mod, I swear, when I put it in the group chat, I haven't even read yours.
Third or fourth week.
And then I scrolled.
Oh, serious?
Honestly, no.
And then I scrolled up. Why would I be copying you? Because you're bottom of our league.
I'm not bottom of the league anymore. Am I?
You're not bottom, but you're not top.
Am I bottom of the league? Am I still bottom of the league?
If I was going to copy anyone, it'd be Greg.
Greg, put the thing on the screen.
If I was going to copy anyone, it would be Greg. But now I'm going 3-1. I just have a feeling we might concede a goal, but I'm hoping that Dorgu's going to transform our attack. You are bottom.
Fair enough.
Told you. Why would I copy?
It's because I predict wins. I'm sorry for thinking United are going to win. I'm sorry.
Actually,
it's the reason why I'm actually bottom.
Goal scorers?
Oh, goal scorers. Dorgu debut.
Oh,
that's crazy.
Dorgu.
I rate it.
Dorgu debut.
I think Mainu gets 2 and Hoyland gets 1.
Mainu gets 2 goals.
I really want Holland to score. Anyway, we've got to wrap up because Mark is live. Last super chat, WJK says, greetings from Finland. Last time I saw Ramel was in London filming a football shirt video. Amazing guy, let's win. Great debut, Ramel. I know you called in, but this is your in-studio debut.
Oh, no,
let's
appreciate
see if you're our
it,
good luck charm or not. You know?
Don't cook me. All I'm saying, if we lose, please don't cook me.
It's a good game to debut on, though.
Yeah, fantastic, man. I picked the right one, you know what I'm
saying? We'll go on to the United stand. We'll infiltrate Mark's chat with Dorgu. Just Dorgu. Going with Dorgu. Dorgu debut. That's the one.
Come on.
Let us know, guys. And we will be on the forum with Ramel, Maud and Ricky after the game, hopefully discussing going through into the next stage of the Cup. Thank you for watching. Come on United, and we will see you after the game.